Hey!
There you go.
No, I can do this part.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Geek Bytes podcast. I'm Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Acosta.
And every single week on the podcast, we're bringing you the round of the week's best geek and tech news. And this week it is episode number 144 of the podcast. And we talk about some stuff. And geek news this week we're talking about...
Yeah, let's talk about the new Hellboy movie, Star Wars, Bumblebee, the cost of SWAT, Hollywood deaths. Oh, really? We're going to...
Well,
it happened.
It happens.
You know,
there are several, and
yeah.
I think they were worth mentioning. We'll talk about them briefly.
In memoriam. We'll do our in memoriam. And, of course, the movie trailer Showdown and much, much more.
So of course, we begin our show, though, with the geek news.
Hello, Tanya.
Hey, Tanya, how you doing? Thanks for joining us today, along with everybody else who's here. Somebody's actually and they're gone. Never mind. It happens.
You got mentioned.
Yeah. Okay, so in Geek News, we're going to start out with some great entertainment stuff. We're talking about with Hellboy, the new reboot there. Lovely picture if you're watching the video version of the podcast. If you're listening to this, the pictures are less impressive. Mike Mignola's distinctively drawn a unique tale of Hellboy is getting a cinematic reboot with Stranger Things' Dave Harbour's behind the mask. That's the sheriff guy.
Oh.
In Stranger Things. In a recent interview, he's talking about his dad body for the third season of Stranger Things, and also mentioning the 2019's Hellboy reboot has finished wrapping production. That means all the filming stuff is done. That they're going to do the special effects, all that post-credit stuff, but we'll actually get to see this, relatively soon. So it's slated for 2019. I'm hoping they're going to bring it into 2018 if they get the work done, but CGI stuff takes forever. But just the photos we get from off set right now, they look pretty good. I gotta say, Hellboy looks darker. He definitely looks scarier. He has this Skeletor face kind of thing going on. I don't remember him being as hairy chested, but it works for the actor underneath.
Now, are they going to go with the original bad guy as a reboot format, or are they going to go some other bad guy?
No, they're going to actually go with, they did this synopsis thing a while ago. It's going to be the synopsis they've given for it. The film is about Hellboy going to England, where he must battle Nimue, Merlin's consort, and the Blood Queen. But their battle will bring about the end of the world, a fate he desperately tries to turn away. And so the original title for this was Hellboy, the Blood Queen. But they took that title out for just Hellboy because it's simpler and it's easy. It's a lot more marketable than having a Blood Queen in there. So
it's like a really bad period joke.
Yeah,
but obviously the picture is black and white from what we're seeing right now. So in my mind, I'm like, hopefully it's not like a Clerks runoff of Hellboy.
No, they did they showed the color photo of him in the outfit, and it looks pretty nice, but it is a darker red. It's not as a pink red that the other Hellboy was, and a lot of that was just prosthetics. But this one, apparently, all this chest area is actually him,
real man,
the actor. Like, wow, that guy's good for you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it, but great. So something to look forward to in 2019. Okay, some other entertainment news we have. John Williams is actually come back into the Han Solo film universe. He's actually going to do the intro score to that. There's the same musician who did a lot of the other stuff who's still going to be doing that. But John Williams said that the present plan is for that he's going to write the theme music for Han Solo, and John Powell is going to write the score, which he'll do brilliantly. So we're going to get at least some good Star Wars music from this guy, from John Williams.
He's been really good. I think. Might have been in Empire. They eventually swap out the the conductor, the writer John Williams with somebody else.
Yeah, they switched him out for the other one. I'm like, okay.
No, he's good. He's good. I was never, even though I was a band geek for a little bit, I was never falling in love with like certain characters or at least music writers. The closest thing to me, especially because I'm a little bit of I'll admit it. I like musicals and such. I was more of a Alan Menken kind of guy, the guy that wrote like Little Mermaid, Aladdin, the Disney,
Well, now they're all in the same family, so they can grab the same people. But back then, it was just John Williams did like some really great epic scores for this one, and of course, Indiana Jones and much other stuff.
It's all iconic. Yeah, if you hear that little you're like,
yeah, it's very epic sounding. I'm like, that's good. I couldn't do that, so I kind of appreciate the skills in that. So it's nice to see that John Williams is going to come back into the Star Wars sound, because for a lot of people, I think his work, at least to their ear bones and their ear memories, kind of epitomizes that kind of like epic sounding universe. And Lord knows that Han Solo film needs all the help it's going to get.
Oh man,
yeah, there are rumors, there's just problems everywhere. Like people getting cast and cut left and right. I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's so we'll watch it. I mean, I plan to watch it. I don't think anybody who's not a Star Wars fan is not going to watch it. But we're kind of curious to see where the story goes and if it's good or not.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, onto some more interesting Disney Lucasfilm films. Yeah, Lucasfilms was purchased by the Disney company for, I believe it was like $4 billion, and at that time that was one of the largest purchases of any kind of media company ever. And people were just they were outraged almost that somebody would buy that much or pay that much for Lucasfilms, who hadn't really been doing that great recently. The prequels had come out, they weren't fan favorites, and George Lucas had kind of said he's not making anything else at this point. But the fact that Disney paid that much, they've already gotten their investment back. From an investment standpoint, it's been great for them. It's been about 5 years since Disney bought Lucasfilms for $4.05 billion. And according to ticket sales, the Star Wars Last Jedi brings a combined office total for The Force Awakens, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, The Last Jedi, past the $4.05 billion mark. That doesn't take into account, of course, the production costs for those films, but just as far as like investment goes versus ticket sales, that investment has already paid for itself in 5 years, and everything else from here on in is just cash. Yeah, Disney's already gonna be raking in the money. People thought it would take like 10, maybe 15 years. Nope, 5 years, a couple movies. They actually did something with the intellectual properties, and they're making bank.
Oh, okay. That's early celebration. Okay.
Yeah. So
boom goes dynamite. Anyway, let's see what's coming out. Since the movies pretty much pay themselves, we're expecting the Star Wars land both in Orlando and
yes, although I'm
California.
sure the one in Orlando is going to be better.
They're going to do a hotel. Mm-hmm. They're doing the cruise line. All that. That's just extra stuff that they're just putting out, and that's just going to be even more money ranking in.
I feel so bad for George Lucas, not just because he walked away rich. I don't feel that bad for the guy.
Oh, yeah, $4 billion.
But it definitely feels like he was sitting on a gold mine and he just wasn't doing jack with it because he was afraid.
I feel like when you're at that point, at that age, he's literally retirement age. I mean, he doesn't have to really do anything.
No, and that's kind of one of the things of like success. Like sometimes when you're successful, you're afraid to take risks and you're afraid to take chances anymore because you have something to lose if it goes bad. So in that respect, I feel bad for the guy because he just creatively he lost out on so many storytelling opportunities, and of course all this extra money, like an extra $4 billion he could have made on his own just making these films.
Yeah,
you know.
But he's living on his golden years. He's enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's laughing out of the way the mate for us.
Yeah. He's gonna die literally happy. He might not. If he was a really horrible, greedy person like a business tycoon, he'd be pissed. He's like, "Fuck, what did I just waste my money?" You know.
He's like, "Oh no, this $4 billion. How am I ever gonna live with it?
Oh, my island. Oh, my ranch and stuff like that." He's still like, I guess, technically legally still owns Skywalker Ranch and all that kind of stuff.
I don't think he does. I think that was part of the deal. Like all the
he gave it. Remember,
Skywalker Ranch has
the property.
Part of Skywalker Ranch has the what is it called? The special effects company he made.
Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah, that's on that ranch. So it's all part of the same deal. So I think he sold everything. Ooh. As far as I know. He might have kept like some property just for his house and everything because I also know he lives up there.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
like I think he sold everything off.
Well, once again, he's living fine. He's going to be okay, everybody. $4 billion will cushion his fall.
Yeah, a little bit. So, but like I said, that's a great investment from like an investment standpoint. Like, oh yeah, that's good. You've already made your money. You can, for the rest of forever, just rake in the cash.
All right, so let's do the math real quick. $50 billion for the to get back all the X-Men and all the other Marvel kind of stuff like that. Assuming goes through, yeah. So it took 5 years, more or less 5 years to make.
Yeah, that's what they said. Just based on ticket sales, yeah.
So roughly like $4 billion. So we're talking, how many years before they get that investment back?
Well, I think that's a little harder to. I mean, if you're doing the exact same math, that's going to be 10 times as much. So it'll be like 50 years by that same figure. But you're also forgetting that while Star Wars is only doing one film a year, basically, Marvel is doing 2 to 3 a year. And with different intellectual property, there's going to be, I mean, that's what they can do. The
total
X-Men,
equation.
they can do the Avengers, they can do Thor Ragnarok. They have everybody basically. So even if they do 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 movies a year, that cuts that back down to essentially, 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like within 10 years.
Still during our lifetime.
And
so.
again, that's a lot more merchandising opportunity there as well, in addition to just ticket sales and
toys.
You can bring a Marvel now into all the Disney places, all the different characters. So there's a lot more opportunity for them to make the back. But that is a huge investment. You're right.
Cash money.
Yep. So, but Disney has it. Disney's not exactly going broke to make the investments.
They're gonna own a country. They're gonna.
I think they might just like bring Epcot centers, like cut it off from the rest of the United States and float it into the middle of the ocean. We are literally Disneyland.
Exactly. We are our own country.
Okay, onto some more entertainment news. Yeah. We have our first look at some high resolution photo from the Transformers movie spinoff, Bumblebee. It's a synopsis is included with that particular film. On the run in the year 1987, Bumblebee finds refuge in a junkyard in a small Californian beach town. Charlie, played by Haley Steinfeld. Steinfeld. Oh, okay, Steinfeld. I was thinking the other Steinfeld. On the cusp of turning 18 and trying to find her place in the world, she discovers Bumblebee, a battle-scarred and broken. When Charlie revives him, she quickly learns this is no ordinary yellow VW bug. And so they're going back to the VW bug look.
Now, I'm wondering, I think they're going to keep the iconic bee-looking face helmet thing. They're not going to go the old 80s cartoon with the little Viking horns kind of thing. So, but it's going to be an interesting take, because remember in the first Transformers movie, it was a little bit of a nod, like, even though it was the Camaro right next to the bug, he literally just like blew it, smashed it, whatever. He's like, I'm not doing this bug.
Yeah. It was them rebooting Camaro. The character. Yeah. But this one is definitely trying to take back that nostalgia from the original Transformers cartoon series. I think they're also trying to pull in some of that. Was it Herbie the Love Bug attraction as well?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to take on that.
So there's a lot of nostalgia that I think they're playing on. It's one of the, again, it's set in 1987, so this would be before any of those other new Transformer movies from there. So
I want to see who the villains are going to be, because obviously I don't think you're going to see Megatron. You'll probably see some like B-list, C-list robots on there, but I want to know what they're going to go to storyline. Because did you watch the last Transformers movie, the Last Night or what have you?
I did not. I haven't seen a lot of those recently, to be honest. I'm like, they've lost interest for me. Sounding like that Pirates of the Caribbean has lost interest, and that they're mostly just special effects reasons for people to get paid money. And that's how I felt for most of the Transformers. But at least the first one felt different and original.
Yes, to me it was just, honestly, it was just like the cartoon series. It was just a bad way to market toys, because I saw the toy lines sucked. I'm sorry to say. I was having good like hopes for like, all right, it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be on, and then like
no. I mean, those are commercials for toys, and
exactly.
And they make back their money, and that's all they really are.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, and these movies are kind of the same thing.
Exactly.
They're just marketing for toys for kids to buy.
Hey kids, are those hardcore collectors, nostalgia-ish people? Here's some stuff coming out.
Here's some stuff. So there. So those are some great entertainment stories. We're going to go into some more speculative things, mostly because slow news week. Not a lot of things have been happening.
It's the end of the
Everybody
year. Wants a party, drunk. Worry about the new stuff that's coming up.
Yeah, this is recorded on December 31st, so we're right on the cusp. So it's New Year's Eve, technically.
New Year's Day for other people.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to you.
So we're going to look at some things that might have been in the future. So we're going to start with Batman. So IGN was nice enough to do this really interesting collection of things, like all the Batmans that could have been, because of course ever since they started recasting this all the way back in for the original Batman, there are always speculations about who was going to be Batman, who was going to be this character, and we are going to begin with the one they have here. Let's see.
So originally Michael Keaton for the first one.
Yeah, so that's who came with it. We started Josh Brolin. Apparently Josh Brolin was up for the role, just like he has been for a lot of different things. When they were trying to cast Batman for Batman versus Superman, which is the one that Batfleck came in.
Okay. Josh
Brolin was apparently a serious contender. Unfortunately, he had already done something in the DC universe, and so as Jonah Hex, and so they passed on it.
Oh, that's right. He is Jonah Hex. Okay.
Yeah, so they're very much like, you can be one role and one role only, apparently. Also on that list is Pierce Brosnan.
I don't know. Unless he could he'd always carry that accent, and
Yep.
of course, to me, he'll always be not the James Bond, but a James
He's
Bond.
definitely a James Bond.
Yeah.
That's what he was kind of riding on this point. He was up for the role for the Tim Burton's Batman in 1989, and he was one of them mostly because he already had that charismatic attitude. He had
He was Bruce Wayne. He had the Bruce Wayne.
sort of, yeah, and of course they are action oriented.
Yeah.
But they went with someone else, and many people were very suspicious about Mr. Mom being Batman at that point because he hadn't done anything quite like this before. But it was a great call. It was a great choice. Obviously, it worked out well for everybody. And Pierce Brosnan is probably like, meh. I think I did okay otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay, William Dafoe. This was a surprise to me. Apparently, William Dafoe was a contender for the part of the Joker.
Okay, see, I was gonna say, don't say Batman because
He was Batman. He was for the part of the Joker, but he's also interested in being Batman in that particular movie. So just the crazy face is like not very Batmanish. Joker, definitely. I can see him as the
screaming
Joker.
but not that. Somebody did some awesome fan art where they literally like CG makeup on him to look like the Arkham Asylum Joker.
Yeah,
totally
nice.
pulls it off.
Yeah,
Totally
the smile. He definitely has creepy, scary smile on his face.
The eye, it's the nose. He has it.
He definitely got to be his comic book character, though.
Yeah.
Fulfilled to become Norman Osborn in 2002 Spider-Man. So even then, though, I think it was a wasted opportunity because they covered his face when he's the Green Goblin.
In the Goblin,
and I'm like,
yes, totally.
I'm like, why couldn't you just tint it?
He even-
CGI it. I don't know.
He even had the voice too. He had the almost evil maniacal.
I mean, just looking at the
laugh.
picture we have here, like, oh yeah, that definitely looks creepy as hell. Okay. Also, Johnny Depp was apparently going to be for Batman.
Maybe in his younger days as Robin, like his 21 Jump Street times, he definitely has a Robin, but no, not Batman.
Well, remember that this was for 1995 Batman Forever, which is the third film in that particular movie. It was Batman Returns, and then Batman.
There was no Robin then.
Yeah, Batman Forever. And at that point, Michael Keaton was leaving the franchise, and like Tim Burton was still on board on this pretty hard. Like, oh, I know a dude, and he's like Johnny Depp, and
let me guess, Helena Carter as Catwoman.
that would have been so funny. Yeah, like, oh, very interesting role, very choices. But of course, that did not work out.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Colin Farrell was apparently up possibly for Batman.
No.
So I'm like,
A villain, yes. A bad guy.
And this was for Batman v Superman. So
especially in that shot, literally dead shot.
that
Exactly.
that was a little too
dead shot or one of those kind of characters. Even Firefly, any other kind of villain, but not Batman. At least to me.
I don't know if the accent works well. Not quite doing that for me.
No.
Okay, we also have Jake Gyllenhaal was apparently up for the role in 2005's Batman Begins, which is the reboot version of this.
No.
Nope. Yeah.
Once again, maybe during his younger days as a possible Robin, but no.
Well, I think a
villain. Definitely
he has
a villain.
No, I think he could work actually. I mean, even if you look at, he's done a bunch of character acting. He also does this action stuff here in this particular shot.
No.
I could actually kind of see it working as the beginning of Batman again.
No,
He's a very physical, broody kind of face.
I can see him as a villain.
I don't know if he's tall enough, but yeah.
Maybe before, obviously, with the Bane that he came out with, maybe as a Bane, especially since he's bulked up and everything, especially in that shot. But I could definitely see him as a villain, but not Batman.
Okay, on to Armie Hammer. I just love the name of this particular character.
I can't believe that's his real name.
Yeah, that's his actual name. You might know him best from the Lone Ranger movie that totally sucked. That's also
I liked it.
Wasn't Johnny Depp the Indian in that movie?
The Indian?
Yeah. Wasn't he Tonto?
The Indian?
Yeah.
So we call everybody the Mexican?
Wasn't he the Indian?
The black guy?
There's only, this is a racist franchise, man. There's literally one Indian dude.
There were more.
Who has a title credit here. He's Tonto. He's the Indian.
Wasn't he
guy.
Tonto? Could you just
He's the Indian between, it's not Lone Ranger and Tonto. It's the Lone Ranger and that Indian dude he hangs out with who does all the real work.
I remember him mostly as the twins. He was the twins in the Facebook movie.
Oh, okay.
In the social media guy.
He was both.
Yeah, he was the twins. Yeah. Honestly, I think wasn't he up for a role as a Green Lantern at a time?
I don't remember if he was up for that particular role, but he was supposed to be the Dark Knight in Mad Max director George Miller's Justice League movie Mortal. But that was pulled, so maybe they feel like, he could have been the Batman in that particular movie. That's what he was supposed to be actually, and then that movie never got made. So
yeah, as a Bruce Wayne, maybe, but I see him totally he could have pulled off from maybe Green Lantern or be any other character hero wise, but
he has the chin for Bruce Wayne, I guess.
yes, that profile that like a strong man.
Ethan Hawke apparently was also of consideration for Mike Keaton's role in the 1980 film Batman Forever. No. Yeah.
Him on heroin, or you know what? Him as a scarecrow.
Now this one was actually really interesting. Heath Ledger was potentially going to be Batman instead of the Joker.
No, but he pulled off an amazing Joker. Everybody was like, oh no, he doesn't know, but then blew everybody away. Didn't he win an Oscar?
Yeah, he did.
He won an Oscar for that.
He did.
But still.
Okay, Cillian Murphy. He was the Scarecrow in the Batman movie, and he kind of has that face. He definitely has the rich white guy look.
But he maybe in his younger days.
But
once again,
not big enough for sure. That's for
I
sure.
would say Robin too in his younger days.
You always put these guys.
Bruce Wayne, because they had
interesting how many of these guys who were trying to go for Batman became villains.
Because they have the young boyish look to me. Other one, oh come on, really?
No, this one was for us. Yeah.
Come on. As Batman.
This was again a different director before the original 1990 Batman. Ivan Reitman was supposed to be the director for this particular film before Tim Burton took over, and he seriously considered Bill Murray for a comedic take on Batman. Remember, this is before they got all serious, so the only thing they had to work with was the 1960 was it 69? Yeah, Batman from the television show series, and so they were going to have Bill Murray as Batman and David Bowie as the Joker.
Okay, that I kind of could see.
I can see David Bowie's Joker, yeah, but not so much.
Okay, now Bill Murray, you know who I would see as Bill Murray?
Who's that?
Mad Hatter.
Yeah, I guess I could work at that.
Mad Hatter, especially with the comedic, workable jokes and everything. Maybe a penguin.
Yeah, remember in 1989, he was also more of a hot commodity.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And last but not least, basically old Batman was not always Adam West. He could have been Lyle Wagner, who definitely has a vice.
Kind of has a Bruce Wayne look.
He has a Ralph Garman version of
Rock Hudson.
Kind of face.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they went with, our Adam West. So
see, with him, especially if he was still, I don't know if he's alive or anything, but even if he's aged up, he could totally play in the way I like that they did the nod, play Bruce's dad. Mm-hmm. Thomas Wayne, if they did how they do the flashback scene when they're in the alley and everything, like Bruce, no, and bang, that kind of deal. That would have been a good nod, because I think they did that also with 60s Batman, Adam West.
Yeah.
They had Adam West play like the Thomas Wayne in a couple, I think, animated characters. Yeah,
a lot of places they could have gone with that. Yeah. But this is what we came out with. I'm not sad about that particular Batman. Moving on to some. Now, this was kind of a weird piece of add-on news at the last minute. This one is about swatting gone wrong. If you've never heard of actual swatting, this is when people report to the police that bad things are happening in location as like a practical joke because they have someone's address because they pulled it from the internet or it was revealed to them, whatever. But it's a mean thing to do because the police actually show up and sometimes bad things happen. And that was the case here. Apparently, a Los Angeles man was arrested for swatting in Wichita, Kansas. He basically called in a kidnapping situation and armed situation, and the Wichita police broke into that home and killed the dude. They killed the dude because the police very rarely get charged with murder.
Right?
It's one of those things, yeah. But the guy who did the swatting was arrested. He was 25-year-old Tyler Barris. So
the only time I've seen is it's been a couple times during like Twitch video shows where they actually, it was legit, even the cops are wondering like, what's going on?
Like, man, like, hey, can I help you, dude?
Like, hey, man.
And it's all very funny when you see it on the internet, but when someone dies from
the situation,
like, that's I mean, those police could be doing things like, I don't know, harassing brown people.
Yeah, they all the time. The one things that I've noticed that it was like a practical joke that they've done international, like crank calling. And when it comes to international things, is like, how do you really track it down? Even especially now that people have like, the concept of burner phones and whatever.
Oh, I mean, just VPN it. Like, you can be from anywhere you want to. We could be filming from like the VPN because they were filming from China.
Yeah.
And, that's what the IP address says. Yeah. Okay,
sucks.
a couple celebrity deaths. The first one is going to be Rosemary, best known for her portrayal of television writer Sally Rogers in the beloved CBS sitcom The Dick Van Dyke Show. She's officially died, according to her representatives and their website. Her website, she died at the age of 94.
No offense, but in that picture, she kind of looks like a dude.
She was always known as the funny girl who wasn't as pretty, and so she was always yeah. I mean, so she never came up for those lead actress roles, but she's always like, oh, someone's side friend, or like just the funny lady in the television movie role.
What's that horrible term? Is it the duff?
A duff. I don't know.
Duff or the designated ugly friend?
Maybe, I guess. I think you're
horrible.
referring like a movie thing.
Yeah, that was horrible. Because, like I said, I'm sorry, she kind of looked a little mad. I've never watched the show, so I can't.
No, well, they definitely play on her. She's a good actress.
Okay.
If you've ever seen the Dick Van Dyke Show, it's an old show. If you grew up like we did, like where television options were limited and you kind of got reruns. You might have seen her there. It's also on Netflix currently, so go check it out. It's a very funny television show just in general. But no, yeah, she's a great actress. They actually played up in several episodes that particular aspect of her life, that she was always the funny girl, the comedian, and never like the pretty girl. Everyone kind of, gasped over. The same way that Laura, whatever his is.
Ingalls?
No, Laura. The Dick Van Dyke Show, the female lead for Dick Van Dyke. His wife was always very pretty.
Okay, I'm checking out her IMDb right now.
I mean, her real name is Mary Tyler Moore. But,
okay, her other picture is definitely way better than that one because I was she's not.
I mean, she's not like super, but she's definitely like a 5 or a 6. It's just that
according to your scale,
comedic acting, comedic talent definitely bumps her up to a 7 for a lot of people. But just on looks
personality.
alone, yeah, she definitely has personality, and that's what she was known for. But I mean, even she made it fun of it in her stand-up, so it wasn't like something she's not aware of. But she passed. She's 94. We'll miss her.
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
So, Okay. Just doing a quick filmography.
Sure.
She did quite a bit of like animated kind of stuff. Doing like voice of Arnold, not of Arnold, but the voice on the cartoon show Hey Arnold, Garfield. She did quite a good bit of comedy movies.
No, she definitely has a bunch of stuff, but she did more as this show. Like this show ran for a while, and it wasn't everybody's household, so it's not that. That's probably what she's best known for. Okay, another celebrity death. Unfortunately, we have the death 1 year after the death of Carrie Fisher. We have Alfie Curtis, who played Dr. Evanzans in Star Wars: A New Hope. He's the guy who basically threatens Luke Skywalker afterwards. Don't mess with me. I'm wanted in like six galaxies.
Pretty much the pig face guy.
Yeah, pig face guy with the butt face dude next to him.
Yeah.
And he died at the age of 87 apparently. So,
but he had that iconic role. Like he's like it's one of those.
Yeah, it's one of the things. Like his real life face almost looks as interesting as his makeup face from the movie.
It is, but he has that scene. He has that like you'll know who he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sadly, he hasn't done.
Yep.
Can't remember for anything else. At least for me. But it was awesome that they did. Was it him in Rogue One?
Yeah, I think so. Like he
didn't get a lookalike or anything like that.
No, it's that's the character. I was doing that. The character has like a real backstory though.
Yeah,
which I never read until like he passed. Apparently, his character was it must sound like Canteen. But the character itself was once a promising surgeon from Alaskan who became notorious for conducting cruel medical experiments and later became a smuggler. That was his backstory for that particular. Like he's like his character has a PhD as a doctor.
Okay.
Like that's interesting. I never would have known that.
Black market doc.
Yeah, apparently. But again, he also gets a notable line in Rogue One. So he's like, yeah. He's like, you just watch yourself. We're wanted men. I have a death sentence on 12 systems. So there you go. That was his line for. So you see him in both movies. He's kind of a connecting piece between those two franchises. So there you go. Okay, so we're almost done, folks. We have Scratchy recording this thing. We have 4 trailers. 4 trailers. Only one coming in the movie trailer showdown, folks. We're going to begin with Scorched Earth. And you saw the trailers this week, right?
I saw him.
That's good. So we have Scorched Earth, Mom and Dad, Little Bitches, and Overboard. So of the 4, which one did you like the best, man?
It was a little bit of a toss-up. Like, if I have to watch, I honestly wouldn't watch any of them. Put it on the reel. But the one that caught my attention only because, of course, not just the title, is Little Bitches, because you see the girls. Pretty much it's like the cast of Nickelodeon child stars doing a kind of like American Pie-ish
I'm not even if it's
thing.
American Pie-ish, but it's definitely teen romp comedy movie kind of thing going on. And I absolutely agree. Like Scorched Earth stars that girl from. She was one of the fighters in Deadpool. She was that big buff girl.
Oh, that was her?
This is.
I couldn't recognize her because her boobs are all covered up.
Yeah,
that was the main part of that.
Yeah.
So
this is definitely.
Is all like, oh,
yeah, the premise of this particular movie is that the world's gone all to hell. It's post-apocalyptic weather stuff, whatever.
She's like a bounty hunter.
Yeah, and it's one of those kind of Walking Dead, end of the world kind of movies, except that people are just surviving, right? And so she plays a bounty hunter, and this is kind of her using her movie capital to get her lead in a movie. So I'm like, oh, great for her.
Honestly,
not that amazing looking though. I mean, I'm hoping it's more actiony than it appears because everything in this post-apocalyptic looks kind of new. I'm like, that's always not a bad sign. Also, Mom and Dad. This one I thought had potential. It is essentially a zombie apocalypse movie where it's murderous parents killing their kids instead of zombies eating brains. I thought that idea has entered like the beginning of the trailer. Not that huge of a fan of, but like as it goes on, like as you see like parents just going crazy and like trying to murder their kids, I'm like, oh, okay.
It's the film that the film made of the feelings that all parents have, especially once you had those teenage rebellious kids like, I want to kill you.
Or
now they got
like
the chance.
Little babies who crying like 3 a.m. Yeah,
you know,
that's part of what they're playing on as well. Now this next one is Overboard. Another one we didn't pick. Basically, it's a remake of the original one with what's her name?
Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn and Kurt
Russell.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Kurt Russell. It's the remake of that one. Only the rich guy's the dude.
Yeah, and the girl is not.
She's poor.
Hard worker.
Yeah, she's poor, and that's woe is me life. And she,
isn't that the guy from that one Latin Lover movie?
It might be the case. Might be a Latin Lover movie, but it's not a fan. If you read the comment section, most people are very much not on board with this. They're
because
like,
of the remakes.
Oh my God, stop making the remakes. Poor Goldie Hawn. It's like, I love Anna Faris, but this looks bad. There's a lot of that stuff, guys. And so for me, I'm on board with you, man. Little Bitches is definitely the trailer for this week. It's funny. It's interesting. The Red Band trailer definitely goes full hog about just like the crazy shenanigans these teen girls are going after.
Yeah, I don't know her real name, but she's pretty much the Sam character from iCarly with a haircut. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of funny seeing her obviously out of the element being something else. Like, I know she's gonna curse in it, but she didn't curse in the trailer. And she has like the rebellious friend and
oh yeah,
all
there's
that.
only a lot of cursing. It's just I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Even though it's a Red Band trailer, which is weird.
But it's funny. Go check it out. But that's definitely my pick as well. So we're both on board. Little Bitches is the winner. So there you go, folks. And then, Mom, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, I'm cursing. She listens occasionally.
Does she?
Yeah, she does. She's like, I haven't listened in a while. You guys, she's like, I saw her this weekend, and she's like, Mio, I used to watch the podcast, but you guys got so political. And then there's the cursing, and I was like, really?
Oh, then she loves me. Then
I guess. Yeah, I'm like, okay, there you go. Thanks,
Mom. It's him.
Yeah. So there you go. Okay, but that's it for the show, folks. Thanks for listening, for watching. Remember, if you like the podcast, you want to support us in any way, shape, or form, you can always find all the ways to do so at
geekbytespodcast.com/support.
There you go. So thanks again, everybody, for Geek Bytes Podcast. I am Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Acosta.
And remember, folks, to go geek out about something.
And of course, Happy New Year 2018.
Yeah.